and welcome to Recipes from Lilac Dell Cottage. I'm Ginny, and today I'm going to show you how to make and preserve herbal teas. Many of us grow herbs in our gardens, and even if you don't grow them, you certainly have access to fresh herbs at a local supermarket or a farmer's market. So today I am going to show you how to make delicious fresh tea in the summertime and preserve your own herbs so that you can store them and have them all winter long. Okay? I have two different kinds of tea here. These are some herbs that are from my garden. I have a mint. This is kind of like a peppermint spearmint combination variety of mint, and just common sage. A lot of folks grow common sage in their garden, not just for cooking and teas, but also for aesthetics. So you might even have this, who knows? Poke around. All right, so like any tea, if you want to make it fresh, all you need to do is put the leaves in the cup, make sure they're clean, you can give them a rinse first, and pour in hot water. Peppermint is very strong, so I don't usually muddle fresh peppermint. I just stick it in the cup. Sage is a little bit more of a delicate flavor. It's more mild, so usually I give it a pulse or two in the mortar and pestle, and crushing that just kind of brings out more of the flavor. So depending on how strong you like the flavor of your tea, you can add maybe another sage leaf or a little bit more peppermint. I actually put a lot of peppermint in there because I love peppermint tea. So if we're making it hot from fresh, this is my pre-boiled water out of my kettle, and I let it seep. So I'm making 2 cups of tea today. Tea for 2 and 2 for tea. So your friend may, whoever you're making your tea for, may prefer to have their tea with a little sweetener. Perhaps you do too. So I have here honey, that's my preferred sweetener. Of course, you can add any sugar or any other sweetener that you like. Give it a toss, let it seep for 3 to 5 minutes. And then you can either leave the leaf in if you prefer to have very strong tea like I do, or if you want a more delicate flavor, you can then take the tea leaf out. Another great thing about this tea recipe is that you can serve it hot or cold. So herbal teas are really great cold. I have here a nice batch of homemade peppermint tea that I mixed with a little bit of chamomile I had at home and a little splash of lemon. Makes a lovely summer drink. It's very refreshing cold. Now, let's say you would like to have a delicious cup of herbal tea in the wintertime. So you don't have a lot of herbs growing in your garden, and maybe they're not as plentiful at the market. That's okay, because you can preserve your herbs in the summer. Here's how. Buy a bunch, or if you grow it, cut it in a bunch that's about comfortable enough to hold in your hand, like about this. There's no real science to it. You want to gather all of the ends where you cut it, the stems, and use anything. Twine, a little bit, this is yarn because I knit, whatever you have at home, tie it and hang it. Just like back in the day. It worked back then, it works now. So this is fresh. I just picked this out of my garden and I'm gonna hang it. These have been hanging for a few days. You can see that after a few days, they get dry. Just gonna go ahead and hang this up. When your leaves are dry enough, and you'll know because they curl in on themselves, these are dried enough. So I'm gonna just do a switcheroo. You can take them out and you can see how they have curled in and they've changed a little bit in color. When they look like this, all you have to do is take the leaves off, put them in some kind of a storage container, and they stay delicious and minty for 6 to 12 months. So I've had this around for a year. It doesn't have the same potency as it did maybe 6 months ago, but it's still delicious and it still beats store-bought herbal tea. To make herbal tea this way, you can do 2 things. You can get these empty tea bags that you can fill yourself with your own tea. Or this was a gift from the Art of Tea, but you can also order these off of Amazon. Or you can just use a tea strainer. Put your dried leaves in and then pour in your hot water. Let it steep again for about 3 to 5 minutes. Add whatever lemon or honey you like for seasoning, and you're set to go. So that is how to make your own herbal tea or preserve your own herbs for tea for later on in the year. If you liked this video, go ahead and subscribe, click like on the video so that you can find it more easily, and enjoy a cup of delicious tea. Cheers!